It's cool if you curse. It's just the harder words. I'm gonna cut out.
Because then you get demonetized, or if
Yeah. Plus, you might not get a job when you're older, but that's obviously if they decide to watch an hour and 30 minutes long of a video.
Just for an F word?
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that'd be, but I mean, hey, today.
No, that's what I'm saying. I saw somewhere that literally, I think it was, some place did a study and it said 75% of business owners, the most harsh thing that they see on somebody's social media is actually cursing. That is what they're the most harsh on when it comes to if they're not going to hire you because of social media, it's cursing.
I feel like that's crazy because they want everyone to be so perfect.
That's ridiculous because I think that that's not even making you the person that you actually are. And I'm not saying that cursing makes you the person that you actually are, but sometimes that's how some people get
their message across.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least that's how I am. I curse because I feel passionate about something.
Yeah, and like you can definitely convey something more strongly while cursing. Like if you curse at somebody, they're going to listen more than if you say like, can you get the flip over here?
Yeah. Please get the darn over here if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Like, if you say get the over here, you
and
know
I mean,
what I'm
like,
saying?
it all depends on the person's voice and other stuff and like figure and stature. But I mean, there's some people you'll listen to no matter what they say to you. But like, it definitely, when you get cussed out, it's definitely like a.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And bro, I saw somewhere that, I mean, they literally care more about you cursing than they do if you were to post pictures of you drunk or you high on the internet, or if you talk about drug use.
That's wild, because I feel like it's more acceptable to be drunk than high. At least, I mean, maybe the times are changing a little bit now, but like, at least when I haven't been here long. But I feel like it's more acceptable to be seen out in public as drunk, maybe because it's more noticeable.
Okay.
Than if you're high. I don't know exactly, but it might be. But I mean, I feel like they want you to be perfect nowadays. It's like perfect. And whenever someone does anything good, it's like, what can we find that he did bad when he was a freshman in high school to take away his achievement?
And there's always a time and place for something, but I just think it's ridiculous how there's such a negative stigma around weed and people that are high, but it's just normalized to be drunk.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, but like it's taken its course, like prohibition and stuff. Like it's taken its course of being not acceptable, from going to acceptable to not acceptable to acceptable but looked down upon to now widely acceptable and viewed as not like encouraged, but like, you know what I'm trying to say. But I feel like either way, it's kind of like our age will kind of bring, I mean, you saw New York legalized weed the other day. So Delaware probably will. Well, probably it'll hit like Jersey and Maryland and then hit us because we kind of just copycat around. But it'll probably be all legal when we're still fairly young, maybe probably like 20s, 30s.
I mean, if you look, you touched on this earlier. If you look at what has happened in our past, every time that we try to outlaw a drug, it literally just becomes even worse in the country. Like prohibition, look at Al Capone and whatnot. Like it just gets awful.
Yeah, because then some people want to be edgy and different and reject the system, so they want to do it even more. So then you get the people who like it and the people who want to be edgy together too, and then it just drives the demand up.
And I believe it was Oregon, that they completely outlawed all drug use.
Oh, that's like the capital of like free drugs.
Yeah. I don't even have a problem with that, because now what they're trying to do is make it less about prison and more, if you have a drug problem, make it more you need to go to a rehab center, which I don't know your personal opinion, but that's how I feel about it.
They're nice.
I know.
Those rehab centers are nice. Like there's like pools and fountains and like, have you ever seen them?
I have not.
Dude, they are nice.
I will gladly
now,
take
like, I'm not trying to go there. Right?
I understand it. I get you.
But they are nice.
Okay.
Like, dude, they're like, I mean, like, the point is to get the person back to, I guess, normal civilization and not be deemed a threat. I mean,
sobriety.
Yeah. But I mean, they are really nice. There is a lot of money put into those. You can tell by looking at it, and there should be. I mean, like, helping people should always come first in the money.
And even if we outlaw weed, are we going to take the people that are in jail because of weed out?
You have to. I would think so. I mean,
there's so much tax dollars that are going towards people that are in jail for weed and whatnot. And if we just took them out, like, we could put people that are actually deserving to be in jail in jail.
But, like, I feel like a lot of times the cops, from my understanding, don't necessarily, like, if they catch you smoking like a blunt or something, right? Like, they're probably not going to arrest you.
No.
Because they're looking for the distributors mainly. Now, if you're a repeat offender with a history, they're looking to throw you in there for anything you do.
Oh, for sure,
right?
No doubt.
Which, like, I mean, somewhat makes sense. I mean, because then you start to get into are they a threat to society? Are they a threat to young kids? Are they a bad, influence around? So it makes sense. But if it gets legalized, it's got to go. I mean, they all got to get out. And, I mean, that would you can't, like, in your mind, be like, yeah, just let them all go in one day. Like, that can't happen. They can't just all get out in one day. So it'd have to be a process. But, I mean, that's why people get paid big money to decide that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why there are politicians that get paid to do this. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but they would all, I don't see how you could justify leaving them in if it got, like, nationwide legalized. I wonder how the rules are in, like, other countries.
I think Sweden. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure Sweden has it completely outlawed.
Outlawed?
Oh, I meant not outlawed, completely free. Like, you could just do...
One of my family members, I forgot who, went to Austria or something, and it was like, there were, like, stores, just like weed stores that sold, like, edibles and...
Where's the place that, the Netherlands? I'm pretty sure the Netherlands are very famous for being completely, like, weed free. Like, you could do it at all.
I forgot where it was.
Especially
it was
shrooms too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching a movie. I think it was Harold and Kumar.
Dude, Harold and Kumar is funny.
Harold and Kumar is hilarious. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the movie, that's their dream. They want to go to, it's either Switzerland or Netherlands for the sole reason. Because they want
Harold and Kumar goes to White Castle.
That is hilarious.
That's a good movie. And I typically don't like those, like, pot comedies like Pineapple Express.
You don't like that movie?
It's, like, it's good, but I do think Harold and Kumar is really funny.
Yeah. Harold and Kumar, have you seen Escape from Guantanamo Bay?
No, I've heard of Guantanamo Bay, though.
That movie is hilarious. Is that the one with the Cyclops in it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay, so that's the one that you haven't seen. Okay.
No, I haven't seen Guantanamo Bay, but I'll watch it.
There's someone, they go into, like, the basement of someone's house, and they just see a dude, and he's a Cyclops. Like, he just has one eye in the middle of his head, bro.
In the middle, not, like, one missing over here?
No, like, literally, like, it looks like Mike Wazowski. He literally has just a huge eye in the middle of his head. Huh. It's hilarious.
And is he thought to be human?
He's a human. Huh. Literally a human.
It's crazy.
It's funny. So what's up, Ryan Carey? What you been up to, bro?
I've just been chilling this online school. It's terrible, man.
It is pretty awful.
I'm ready to be done, though. Final market period, senior year.
That's crazy.
And we're done. We're done.
Spring break right now?
Dude, I haven't even noticed.
Dude, I haven't either.
I didn't even know. Like, it was Wednesday, and I was like, spring break should be coming up. And my mom was like, yeah, it starts tomorrow. And I was like, I knew the end of the marking period was Wednesday, but I didn't know, like, it just kind of all the days blend together, roll together.
It's weird, too, because how often do you have to go into school?
Never.
Oh, so you don't even have to go in. I mean, I go into school every 3 days, and I still don't even consider it me going into school because I go in, and there's 3 people. There's a teacher sitting at the desk because it's not like he can get up and teach the class. He has to teach the people
the
at
laptop.
Zoom.
Yeah.
So it's
you
like,
just listen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't like when people say high school flies by because to me it doesn't. I don't think it flies by. I think it goes by in just the right amount of time. But, like, it's easy to look back on and say it's flown by, of course, because it's always easy. Like, hindsight is always 20/20. It's always just easy. And, like, now that I am a senior, I can remember all these times that when I was a freshman, like, someone on a sports team, like, at the end of a season was like, don't take this for granted or enjoy this moment because it flies by. And like I can remember all that, and I feel like it's just like a traditional thing for a senior to say to a team at the end of the year, but I don't think it flies by. And I feel like the kids who are in high school now have the easiest shot of saying it flown by because we missed a year and a half.
I mean, a year and a half of us being able to do genuine events at school.
Yeah, to experience. Yeah. Because that's what is being thought of when it's high school flies by.
And I don't know if you noticed, but most of the fun activities happen towards the end of the year.
Yeah, they do.
So the end of our junior year, we didn't get a prom.
We've never had a prom.
We never had a prom.
Never.
And I'm not saying
I don't
that's
care that much about
exactly. It's not something that like you need to go to, but it's something that you probably want to go to just to have that high school experience.
It's just most people throughout the history of America have gone to a prom. I mean, like at least in modern civilization, I've never seen a high school that doesn't have prom. And if you have it, most kids go to it because their parents want them to go to it or they want to go to it. Like not a lot of kids skip out on it. I mean, like there definitely are kids that skip out on it and to each their own, but
yeah, of course.
It's just like that American experience. You know what I mean? Like there's not like prom is pretty American.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I would consider it American. I mean, there's probably definitely other countries that do it, but I 1,000% understand.
They call it something else, or, but like prom is pretty like let's say you go to a public high school in America, you're going to go to football games Friday nights, homecoming, prom, what else?
Spring break,
winter break, I guess. Those breaks, but like that's just like the typical
senior trip.
Yeah,
no senior trip,
skip day or whatever.
Every day is our senior skip day.
Yeah, pretty much. I can remember like hearing about that when I was younger, like not a junior because I was not in school.
Yeah.
But freshman, sophomore, hearing about like, you guys are really going to skip? Like, that's terrible. And I was like, and thinking back at it, it's really not that bad, but like, we can't even do it. What are we going to like not turn our computers on for a day?
It's just stupid. Yeah. I mean, people go to the beach with their phones literally there and they're just in a Zoom class and they're in the beach.
Yeah.
Like people are asleep on Zoom.
You can easily turn your camera on, go to sleep.
Yep.
Set an alarm, wake up at the end. And I mean, like, you definitely miss all, and you're going to be lost on the homework. But you could do it and not get caught.
And we're not even going to mention how easy it is to cheat now at home on school.
It's way too easy.
It's way too easy for us.
Yeah.
It's just...
I've noticed a lot of kids complaining about workload. I've always thought that I had less work this year than ever before, but I've seen a lot of kids like on the internet, on TikTok, or like my friends in school saying like, oh, this teacher is killing me with work.
I mentioned this in the podcast with Zoom, or with Q. The only problem that I've personally noticed is now I think it's easier for me to procrastinate the work that I'm given.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like it's easier to load up and pile up work that, let's say you get a couple assignments that are due in a week, and then you have some other assignments that you're given. Let's say it's a week prior. You're given some assignments due on a Friday. Then on Thursday, you get some assignments due on a Friday, right? It's easy to let those all like snowball down to Friday, and then it is a lot of work. And it is easier to procrastinate because I feel like we don't know how to handle, at least I don't know how to handle all this free time that I have. And that I can't go anywhere with my free time. Like I'm at home, like it's more opened up, but you still got to be at home.
I mean, even now, I have so much free time now. I'm literally creating a podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's given me the time to actually do something that I want to do, but then I do what I want to do, and then I still have free time, and I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah. Because it's like, we're kids. We're not going to spend our free time learning some like super important skill we'll need for the future, which probably would be beneficial, but no, that's just not.
No, it's not who we are at our age. We want to find excuses to do something stupid in order to create memories.
Yeah, because we want some memorable experience or some pleasure or some.
And being 18 years old, we don't want to necessarily start our life now.
It's like that weird, it's like we're in, what's it called? I don't even know.
The patch of just like where we're trying to figure out.
No,
like,
what's it called? Like when you die, you're in
purgatory.
Yes. It's like we're in purgatory, just waiting, because we're at that age where we're considered an adult, but we're not. You don't want to start the rest of your life until college, the day you graduate college, right?
No,
or
of course not.
Whatever your plan is, At least for me, I don't want to start the rest of my life till the day I graduate college. So I want to. It's like I'm still in chapter 1, but I want to prolong chapter 1.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're in the introduction. We finished that, and then we're trying to prolong chapter 1. And I see that so much. People are just saying, get your life started early. Like, no, bro. I'm trying to chill, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There are some benefits to, because you can do some small things to prepare yourself, like putting away like a small amount of money each month from your paycheck or however you get money.
Yeah.
To
that's a good idea.
Start a retirement like fund or whatever.
I mean, yeah, and if you start out early, you definitely help yourself.
You do.
As the years go on.
You do. And it's easy to not think about. But if you think about most people, if you ever retire, you retire really late, right?
Yes.
So if you're just putting away a little bit of money each month while you're younger, that adds up. And then as you get into your career, of course, you'll be making more money than you were when you were 18. So you can put away a higher percentage of your money. And then, I mean, it helps out, but
Do you want to retire when you're young?
I don't know. So I've never worked a job, right? I make all my money reselling. You know this,
yeah,
right?
Of course, I get you. Yeah.
So, I don't know exactly what a job is like, right? And I know I can't base a job. No job is like any TV show or anything you really see. I do feel like a job can be fun.
Okay.
And it can be memorable. I think it's what you make of it, right? If you work in like a group setting somewhat, I feel like I'll probably want to work whatever I do for a long time. And then at the point where I feel like, I want to retire, I will get like a part-time or like a different job that doesn't pay as well, but is more enjoyable.
Okay.
So like I want to spend the first part of my life maybe not picking something I really enjoy, but something that pays well, right? And then retire from that early and go, it's like, I think the funnest job in the world to be a gym teacher. Like that would be, to me, that would be the most fun thing ever.
You literally do nothing.
You wear athletic clothes. You just hang out with, there's nothing. It's just fun to me, you know? And you get summers off, weekends off, benefits. I mean, there's a lot of props to being like, as your gym teacher, probably at CR, they always say like, who's the smartest teacher in the school? I remember the gym teacher asking me that. And like, you're always like the AP Calc teacher, like the AP, and they're like, no, it's me. We get paid the same. And I sit in athletic codes and talk to you guys all day.
And I don't want to necessarily say do nothing.
But you have a lot less work than an AP Calc teacher. I mean, it's no offense to that. It's like they got to grade these difficult, long questions with conditions and hypothesis. And
I mean, I don't see the want in wanting to retire early because I just feel like then again you have so much time, which is what we just said right now.
And that can get to you.
1,000%. If you're doing nothing all day and you're just sitting out by the beach, at least for me, that does not seem like an appealing thing to do.
No, in the moment when you're working super hard every day, it does. But when you're like relaxed and in a clear state of mind, it doesn't.
And I mean, even back to what we're talking about, jobs, and you talked about reselling, right?
Yeah.
I have personally made more money than I ever have reselling than I have worked at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And I've been reselling for the money that I've made in the past 3 months has been more than I've made in the past year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And how much time out of the day do you think we have to resell? Like, to do something, to pull out our phone. And buy something.
I mean, you kind of got to be like on call. Like you got to be alert. Like if a notifications, you got to grab it and check. But I mean, and you don't have to be, you don't have to be right on time as long as you catch the second or third wave of whatever's coming out, right? But it's crazy, and I feel bad. Like, they say reselling has ruined sneaker culture and certain clothes, and it definitely has.
I think that it has, but at the same time, I don't think that it has, because I think that it creates a reason for people to want to buy these clothes. It's not necessarily a good reason, because people are trying to make money off of other companies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still bringing hype towards that company. Therefore, their clothes are still going to sell out. So I think at the end of the day, the company's still happy, but not necessarily happy with where their clothes are going towards, but they're still making their sales.
And I don't like when people resell local goods. Like, I feel like that's wrong. Like, if let's say I own a fashion company, right? And I make shirts, and, Nike's a different story. Nike's a billion-dollar company. Athletes, everything, make plenty of money, right? Some of these guys that are just starting off in the clothing industry, they're not making that much money, because you're just starting off. You're probably going down, maybe breaking even, right? And they can make some really quality pieces, because all Nike stuff is manufactured in a shop, right? I don't know what shop, and I don't want to. I don't want to think about that. But some of these guys are making quilted jackets and whatever that are really nice, and people are making more money than they do off of it. And I think that's a little wrong.
I'd never even thought of that,
because it happens.
It does.
Because they don't have Nike releases. I mean, what on the Mochas, the Jordan 1 Mochas, the stock was like $250K or something, like a lot.
It was a lot, and they're still, and
they're reselling. That's okay, but like these dudes are making like 20 jackets or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, that's a major difference.
And I didn't even realize, like, those people that you said are making 20 jackets, I didn't even think that really is kind of killing their business, because
it really is.
Other people are making money off of extreme shortages that, that other person can make the cost go up, but they're probably not going to want to buy it because it's such a high price. But if they're at a lower price, a reseller's like, oh, I'm going to buy this out and then resell it for a higher price that probably wouldn't sell it if the manufacturer sold it at that price.
Yeah, and it's
what I'm saying?
And it can be some high quality. Like, some of those local shops and local businesses make the highest quality stuff because it's all done by hand.
Yep.
So
it's all done personally.
Yeah.
It's
and I mean, you get that personal feel. I mean, it's always nice to know that where it's made and you made it and you feel good buying it. But I mean, I enjoy reselling, but I can't bring myself to resell Kobe's, and I can't bring myself to resell anything local.
Okay.
Like PlayStation, no problem. Any shoes, any Nike, Adidas, shoes like that, no problem. Clothes, Supreme, Bape, Loan, whatever, no problem. But local stuff. Now, I mean, there's nothing like that around here that garners value or attention like that, but I've seen it out in other states and stuff just from being online.
That's crazy. I appreciate you for bringing that to my attention.
It's hard to think about because you don't see it around here. No,
especially in Delaware. There's not really that many local clothing businesses, at least that I've personally seen.
And I wish I could see more. Because I'm all for supporting, like, I don't like, we can change it. I don't like, so you know how back when we were in like middle school, right? There was the hype beast phase, right?
Yeah.
Where
Supreme.
People were just rocking off-white hoodies with BOGO tees, with Amiri jeans, and Yeezy
350s.
Yeah, V1 or V2, right?
Yep.
And now fashion has changed to thrifting, right? Which I don't like when I see people saying like, oh, they're just hopping from one trend to the other, because I think that this trend incorporates everybody. Because if you can make thrifting popular, I get it that it's kind of bad at taking away from people that really need it, right? Okay. But if you can make it cheap, then everyone can participate and people don't feel left out, right?
Yeah.
Because like how expensive off-white hoodies and Amiri jeans are. And those pictures of people with like the super edited colors, like Blazing Dairy and like people like that, that were just rocking fits that were like 10 grand and stuff. And now people think like the fashion, the way it is today, is a fit that is $2 thrifted baggy jeans with a pair of, maybe like a pair of expensive Dunks that someone likes, or a pair of beat up Converse, and like a thrifted flannel or whatever. That's maybe $100 total, everything.
And even like, you put a black undershirt on, then throw a white tee on top of it, and there you go. And then throw some blue jeans on with some white beat up Converses, and you got a fit. Yeah. And everyone loves it.
And
now.
That's like, you didn't see people doing that back when we were in middle school. And like, I like that. I like how it's gone to that.
I think that, like you said, it incorporates everyone now. You don't have to be rich, and you can be poor now.
Because you would see, like, when we were in middle school, you would see people that wanted to participate in, because everyone wants to fit in, right? We're all, like, no matter what we say, we're all looking for some sort of validation from a crowd and comfort. I mean, that's why people join gangs. That's why people make bad decisions, is because they don't have anything at home. They want validation and comfort. You would see people, buy fake Off-White and fake Supreme, and it was obvious, clear as day, and they'd get clowned for it, right? And like, it can be funny.
It's pretty funny.
Like,
it awful
is,
fakes,
like, it can be funny, right? But now you can't buy fake thrifted clothes. Like, that's not a thing, right?
Nope.
I mean, you do gotta get lucky, I guess. And I mean, it doesn't have to be thrifted. It's just like brands that are cheaper.
I mean, look, you have a flannel on.
Yeah.
Did you thrift that?
No.
Okay.
No.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's like a thrifted thing. That's just like a thing. You throw a hoodie on, you throw a flannel over it.
Yeah.
And boom.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to come back to the front.
No, it's good. You remember we went to the thrift and ripped that trench coat. So
that
haven't been back.
Fire.
Haven't been back since then.
Bro, I mean, you can honestly get some fire clothes at Goodwill, to be honest. I mean, I've got some of my coolest jackets from Goodwill.
Yeah.
And back to what you're saying about fakes, I had a fake Bape jacket.
I remember.
It was awful, but I thought it was cool. I wanted to be like, oh, I don't have the money to spend on an expensive one, so I'm going to buy a fake one because I thought it was cool looking.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know about this, but the fakes nowadays are really good.
Bro, the fakes?
Not like when we were in middle school. Now they are really, like, spot on. Like, you really have to examine it and examine, like, man, this insole stitching looks a little weird. Yeah. Man, this Nike swoosh looks like just a little too, like, you can't, if you walk past someone with fakes on, do you know, I mean, you're on Reddit, right?
Yes.
So, like, there's this community, r/rep sneakers, right? And they have this whole list of, like, trusted sellers, right? And I've never bought anything. Now, I have thought about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I've definitely thought about it. If a shoe came out that I liked enough, but you know how the shoes get.
Of course.
Was jacked up too much, right? I would totally buy a pair of reps from them because they look like, I swear you can't tell.
And how much are they?
Like 150.
150 for a high-end quality shoe.
Like a high, and I don't like when people say like, have you ever heard the term, I think it's UA?
I've never heard that.
Unauthorized authentic. So they'll try to sell them like made in the same shops, but with the same materials, which they totally could be. But like, you just got to say high quality fakes.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, that's just the way it is. And I mean, it's wild. That's what I don't like, how some shoes are unobtainable to people because of hype and supply and demand. But I mean, that's just the way the world goes.
And I'm willing to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many shoes that I've wanted to get in the past, even those mochas. My favorite shoes, honestly, I love the Grateful Dead Dunks. Those are one of the coolest shoes I've ever seen, and you can't get a pair for under like $1,500.
Yeah, dude, the Grateful Dead Dunks are cool.
But I would never spend the money on it, and I'm willing to say, all right, I couldn't have got them. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And you know, the crazy part is, if I had a pair, so like, let's put it to me. I love the Purple Lobsters. Okay. Right? You know how pricey those are, right? The Purple Lobster Dunks.
Are those they're from the Nike SB? Long yeah, the old, yes. Yeah. I know, yeah.
So I love those, right? I don't know exactly how much they're worth. Don't bother looking because they're well out of my price range, right? I wouldn't be comfortable wearing them.
I wouldn't be either. I mean, the most expensive reselling pair of shoes that I have is my Yeezy V2s, which I actually have on right now.
Yeah.
And the only reason that I still wear them is because they're extremely comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable spending that much money on a pair of shoes anymore. I used to because I was like, oh, I want to be cool. Like, I want to fit in.
But now, Converse, Vans, Stan Smiths.
I look at myself and I'm like, I think that I look cool with a pair of Vans, a pair of Converse.
Vans. I wear Vans every day. My favorite shoes I own are those white and blue Stan Smiths I own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are my favorite. I mean, I had a pair of mochas, right, that I got. And once I never wore them. Mm-hmm. Once I saw that value hit $450, gone, sold them right away. I mean, I wouldn't feel like I would walk around like I had poop in my butt, you know? I would walk around like.
I would walk around trying not to. No, exactly that. Like doing the penguin waddle, making sure that they don't crease, bro. Like, I had a. Sorry, you got it.
Nah, you good. You good.
I had a pair of PlayStation Air Force Ones, which were too big. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. But I used to walk around penguin waddling to make sure that they didn't crease, and they still ended up getting creased anyways.
I mean, their shoes, they're going to get creased.
And I think there's such a stigma, like, oh, bro, your shoes are creased. Like, bro, that just means that they wear them. Yeah. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah. Now, I don't you see those videos on TikTok or Instagram where people just, cut apart expensive shoes.
Oh, that's so
now I feel like it's great to wear your shoes, right? I don't really, I mean, it's to each their own. I don't really like people who just or like the idea of getting a shoe and using it as a display object, right? Okay. Because they're meant to be worn, right? But there's situations you're not going to walk out in off-white fours when it's pouring, it's just come on now. And you're not going to jump in a mud puddle in chunky dunks, There's just situations where, you could do that and get some views. Should you?
Is the clout really worth it?
Is it worth it? And I mean, no one that jumps in mud and chunky dunks or cuts open Yeezys is doing it because they think it's funny.
No.
They have something that they're trying to sell or gain attention to that they're hoping this will bring you to their page.
Which sometimes it works.
It does. I don't know any examples.
I mean, if we kind of change the subject a little bit, there are the people that, after the Gorilla Glue girl happened, you remember that?
No.
The girl who put Gorilla Glue in her hair?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, after that situation happened, other people started doing that.
Yeah.
And other people put that on their lips.
Yeah.
Put that in their hair again, put that on their lips, and people are like, you're an idiot. But guess what it got them?
Attention.
And
that's what they want.
Of course. And they want attention. I'm not necessarily saying give them the attention, but if you're willing to give them the attention, you can't be like, how are there so many people that are liking this? You are the person giving them the attention by commenting.
You know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're the person that's spreading this information.
And a lot of things are done for attention.
Oh, 1,000%. There's so much stuff.
I mean, do you think Bad Baby's original Dr. Phil interview wasn't for attention? That was totally for attention, right?
Oh, my God.
I feel like she had that rap career dreamed about before the situation. I don't know how real I've been told that Dr. Phil isn't a real therapist or whatever. It's just, he's an actor, I guess you could say. But I feel like that the whole how about that? You remember that from middle school?
Yeah, Catch Me Outside.
Yeah, I mean, that was totally a let me do this, gain a following. And there's nothing, I mean, that's how, look, she's at the, I guess at the top.
She's at the top. She just made $1 million in 6 hours.
Yeah, $1 million in 6 hours
that is
off
insane.
OnlyFans.
That is
not
insane.
Even off of her rap career. You may not like her songs, but she's so successful, right? She makes a lot of money.
And she made it successful. I don't know whether you believe in this or not, but there's no such thing as bad
publicity.
Yeah. And I mean,
I really don't. I agree with that. All publicity is good publicity.
I agree. Now, other than people necessarily getting canceled, because then that could possibly end their career.
Yeah.
But I don't have any off the top of my head, but there's people that get canceled and then just keep coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, Eminem.
Yeah.
Eminem just got canceled, and look at what here, look at him. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even like to keep up with who's getting canceled. I never really know. I mean, there's a whole groups dedicated to, they really just search. How do I say this? I really enjoy, I'm not very religious, right?
Okay.
But I feel like the Christian morals specifically, because that's the religion I'm most educated on.
Okay.
The Christian morals are perfect in my mind. Like, no one is perfect. Only our existential God being, right, is perfect. And as long as you are praying for forgiveness and trying to better yourself and better your people around you, then you are fulfilling his reason for putting you here.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't know exactly what I believe in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I wish I could believe that I die and go to paradise. But in my mind, I don't know if that's acceptable to believe. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if I can accept that myself, right? I would love to, but I don't know if I can. But I think that if Christianity was never invented, now I'm not like taking away from like Muslim or Judaism or whatever, because I just don't really know those religions and their morals. But specifically, if Christianity was never invented, the world would have been and would still be chaos. Because if there was never those morals that, hey, if you don't act right on here, you're going to be in hell for eternity, then people would just shoot each other and fight each other and kill each other for anything.
And to back off of that, I actually had this exact conversation with someone. I think that if religion wasn't created and people weren't given necessarily a reason to be on earth, no one knows what happens after death. But if you follow a list, if you follow certain morals, you, in your mind, are creating, maybe it's an illusion, maybe it isn't, that you are going to a paradise, you are going to somewhere that is happy
if
after
you behave well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the discussion on whether or not that is real, though.
Yeah, and I mean, no one will ever know.
No.
Right?
It's
I don't like when people force atheism or force Christianity down people's throats.
Nope.
Because I think that however you want to set your morals off of and however you want to act, as long as it's good, right? Like, I'm not saying like your morals are just steal and rob everybody, right?
Yeah.
But as long as your morals are honest and good, it doesn't matter to me what you believe in. And I don't care if you believe in what I believe in or whatever. That's just, you shouldn't have to force that down somebody's throat.
And I agree. There's no incentive. There's no reason, at least for me, if someone was trying to force a religion down my throat, I would be more likely to, like you said earlier, want to rebel against that.
Yeah, to reject the system and just, because then you have a bad experience with that you would associate, whether it's good or bad, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's the question. You have to, if you're trying to necessarily put someone into a religion, you can't force the person into it, but you should probably try to, I want to say, wean them if that's your goal.
Yeah.
But, sorry, you got it.
I feel like just like being available. Like, if someone's really curious on switching religions or is at a loss with their moral compass, then if you're that outlet, I mean, you listen. If you're eager to know something and someone's going to talk to you, you're going to remember what they've told you rather than if I came up to you on the side of the street and just started talking about it while you were on your way to lunch, you know? Yeah. It's just a different, you know, and that's some people's job is to convert people or attempt to convert people. And I mean, whatever you got to do to put food on the table, but I just don't like it when somebody shows up at my door and is like, you need to be Christian or you're going to hell. Like, I
mean, that translates to the people that do the National Guard recruiting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If someone asked me if I want to do it and I've been at Food Line and someone was like, yeah, so if you follow me on Instagram, I'll give you your number just in case you want to do it. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm sorry. I do not want to go to the National Guard.
Yeah. I mean, they have good benefits, though.
They do. And
they really do.
I can't disrespect anyone for wanting to do it, but that's also their job. So I have to respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm personally probably going to rebel, not because that's the person who I am, But if you try to force something on me, I'm going to probably do the opposite, not to necessarily make you mad, just because if you try to force something on me, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be nice about it and just try to talk to me nicely. But if you try to be rude, honestly, about anything, I'm probably not going to listen to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The first time any of like National Guards ever talked to me, it really interested me. Mm-hmm. But the benefits don't like tailor to what I want to do. Okay. So like I really like the first time I heard about it, I went home and I was like, man, like this kind of sounds like really good, and like the benefits and that you get are extreme. But then like I saw like I want to go to college out of state, and I'm pretty sure, at least from my research, that they will pay for in-state college but not out of state or something, unless I guess you could join one in a different state. I don't know exactly if you have to be like a resident of that certain state or have some like documentation in that state. Mm-hmm. But I'm all for like whatever, like I told you, like someone coming up to you on the side of the street and saying something to you, mm-hmm. I would listen to that person. Okay. As long as they were like you could tell that they care about you. Yes. And tell that they're not doing this to just try and hit a quota to make a paycheck. Like, and like, I like it when people accept no for an answer. Like accept like, you know what, this doesn't really interest me. Thanks though. I don't like when people are like, why? Or come on. Like I just like, okay, thanks. You know, like I like the accepting of someone not, you know, just like I don't like forcing it down my throat. Mm-hmm. You know?
I like that because I don't want to say that I always need a why, but when you said I like when some people just say no and you don't have to ask, I think that's important. Yeah. Because if you hear that no, you should just be like, okay, I respect that, and just not even just go let them go along with their day. Because if you can tell that they're not interested or they're disinterested, you should just let them go.
Yeah. Or like the only question I can like understand, if I said like, let's say I said, no, I'm not really interested. If they said, was there anything in my presentation that threw you off or that you thought I could do better on, then I'd be like, yeah, maybe this, or nah, it was good. I just am not interested. Like I understand that if they're trying to better themselves, but I don't want them to try and understand why I'm saying no.
That's a good idea.
Because that's not really, I mean, it's doesn't really pertain to them.
I mean, it's along the same lines of constructive criticism.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's always like, I always want to better myself, whatever I'm doing. So if someone is like, yeah, I'd like to better myself, even though you're not interested, it's like, okay.
And that goes with anything, because my boss said this to me. He says, no matter what conversation or no matter what happens between you and someone else, there's always something that you can take away from that to make you a better person. Yeah. And I completely...
Some experience or yes. Some word or some anything.
No matter, I mean, say, like you said, you get your first job, right? Say you hate it. Yeah. Say you absolutely hate your first job. Well, now you know
what
that,
you don't like.
Yes. And you realize maybe there's a part of that job that maybe you like.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to look for some real small details.
Mm-hmm. And I think that that's something, especially at our age now, if we realize what we like, if we realize what we don't like, and we pay attention to those small details, because it's a lot of the little things that people like, it's a lot of the little things that people pick up on for themselves that really translate into them knowing what they want to do in the future. Like, me just having conversations with people, I was like, I like having conversations with people. Yeah. So I translated that into creating a podcast. Yeah. And honestly, I'm mad that I didn't do it earlier. But now I had the experience. Well, now I had an opportunity to, with my boss having the studio. Yeah. And now I didn't have an excuse. Like, I had everything right in front of my hands. If I didn't do it, that would just be me not taking advantage of it.
Your opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. And I understand that, because I was the person that would always create excuses for myself. Yeah. But now I don't have an excuse anymore. And I think that you can't force someone to do something, and they honestly have to see it themselves. Yeah. Like, something has to necessarily has to happen to you in order for you to change your opinion. And I said that in the last podcast with Q, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, You play basketball, right?
Yeah.
How did you get into basketball?
Oh my gosh. When I was younger, I hated basketball. I hated it. Like I hated it. And then I used to play Holy Cross Rec League, right? And my dad would coach, right? He would take me and I would cry going to practice. I mean, it was acceptable for me to cry. I was young and I was terrible. I was chunky when I was younger, right? I really I was probably chunky till I was like a 5th, 6th grader. I just really grew a lot in 7th grade and just thinned out. But I hated it. And the end of the season, I made a jump shot. One jump shot. Like my dad will attribute my whole basketball career to one jump shot. I made a jump shot. It was my first points I'd ever scored.
Are you serious?
Was a jump shot at like the end of the season. And it wasn't, the crazy part, it wasn't even my first season. I had gone seasons without scoring. Right.
Wow.
And I made one jump shot and I got praise from my teammates for making a jump shot. And so I felt like I belonged in a group, just like we talked about earlier, like that sense of validation and belonging. So then my mom, I had a basketball hoop at home, mainly for my dad, because he would play. I never used it. And my mom would let me dribble, some in the house, right, in certain areas, not like all over the place. And then I started to be able to dribble, and I would go outside and shoot. And then that's what made me, I used to play baseball, and that's what I liked until I got hit in the eye, and I never played again. But yeah, I mean, that's how I got started into basketball.
I mean, right there, it was something that you hated.
Yeah.
And then you had a hyped up experience for it, and then it was something to do with validation, but you also loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was just something that happened that you attributed it to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something that's little. It doesn't have to be something that's huge.
Yeah, and it can just snowball over.
And how many jump shots have you made in your life? You can't even count it.
Yeah.
But
throughout practice and games and a lot. But if you don't like something, the only way you're going to change is in yourself. No one else is going to tell you to like it or convince you to like it.
God, I love hearing someone else say that, because that is one of the biggest things that I try to preach to people, bro. You can't let someone else force something on you. You have to change it yourself.
Yeah, because I don't like how, not all kids care about school, right? Even though history has shown it's important to care about school, and high school degree and a college degree is at least a safety blanket, right? No kid that doesn't care about school, no teacher is going to be like, yeah, care about school. And they're going to be like, yeah, I got you. I'm going to care about school. Like, it's got to get like they get an A or a B on an assignment. It's like, okay, then they get some praise. This is cool. I got a pat on the back for doing all right. Maybe I'll try to do all right again and again and again and again. And then it changes. And you don't have to be the smartest kid in your school to be successful. And it all depends on what you measure success on. You can measure it financially,
by having a wife, by
fulfilling certain needs. Your goal in life could be to be a dad, or it could be to just be happy, or it could be to learn new things. Like, there's different measures of success. Most people look at it as money, right? Like, they say the most successful people in the world are like Bill Gates, but like, it's whatever you make it up to be is your success. Success is super objective and subjective.
All good. No, I agree. And my thing of success is probably different than yours. I don't attribute money to my success, but I contribute my happiness. But my happiness,
that's a big one.
Exactly. But my happiness is different from your happiness.
Yeah.
Because my happy can be me literally just going home with a smile on my face or something like that. But your happy could be you making sure that you get I know this is stupid to say, but you getting your 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
like,
could be.
Because that could be you just literally going home and you actually finishing everything for the day, and you being able to go home and be happy because you're done with everything and properly get that 8 hours of sleep. Obviously, there's more than what goes into that, but you understand what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. I mean, like, some people attribute happiness to hanging out with friends and being around people. Personally, I enjoy hanging out with my friends, but I enjoy my alone time.
And I think that for me, balance is one of the most important things that I attribute my success, happiness to, because if I don't have a proper balance of being with my friends, if I don't have a proper balance of being by myself, I'm not happy. I don't want to say not happy, but I'm craving either one of the other.
Yeah. And balance isn't 50-50.
No.
It could be 70 yourself, 30 friends, or vice versa. And it's not like a scale of 50-50, you know?
And what are your thoughts on the people that, like, I don't want to say preach, but talk about being a popular loner?
I feel like everyone can be I mean, every person who has a lot of friends is going to be alone at some point, right? So I don't really like that term, and I've never called anyone or called myself a popular loner. I mean, like, I get the point. There are people that you know, but you don't really hang out with, like a school friend, you know, like a kid you sit next to in class for like a couple years or something. There's definitely kids like that. And like, I understand that term. And if that makes somebody feel better, then all for it. But I've never really, I mean, everyone who is popular, I don't like the word
I
popular.
hate that word popular, bro.
I can still remember when I was in 6th grade, like kids in front of me talking about being popular. And like, this is before I even knew what the word cringe was. And I can remember just like cringing. And it's like, I don't know what this emotion is that's taking over my body, but I don't want to ever feel like this again. Like, I still remember it from this day. I was sitting in an ELA class in 6th grade. Kids were talking about popularity. And I just wanted to I was just cringing.
It's people desire attention from other people so much to validate themselves. And oh my God, I hate that, bro. It just, it pisses me off.
What do you mean?
When people seek validation from other people, like them being popular, them having 30 friends, not 30, but like 50 people that they like can talk to. Honestly, I would rather sit here and hang out with one person and have a great discussion about literally anything than hang out with 30 people that I don't really know at a party, and I don't do this but get drunk with them.
Yeah, that's just like saying you'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like a common topic we've talked about today is validation. I mean, everything that all of our actions kind of come back around to being validated by some group, right?
And it's never being validated by yourself. It's always wanting to be validated by another person.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And I don't know if that's because we accept ourselves as we are.
And the thing is, it's not like you have to be accepting at this age. I mean, obviously that's your goal, but some people, it doesn't happen to them that fast. But I think the most important part is being able to realize that that is a problem. And if you can realize and accept that that's a problem, and you're like, maybe I should fix this.
Well, your self-validation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like realizing that you're seeking approval from other people rather than yourself. If you can do that and realize that that's a problem, I think that that's the most important thing for you to do.
Yeah, I feel like there's no problem with seeking validation from others as long as you are validated by yourself first and acting yourself. Like everybody, just like we talked about, everybody's happiness is different. Everybody's measure of success is different. As much as there's a lot of people in the world, and as much as a lot of people like to be edgy or different, right, in any kind of way. And there's probably someone out there that is very like them, right? But personally, inside of you, your motives and desires can be different than most people in this world. Now, I mean, with 7 billion people in the world, there's probably someone out there with the exact same motives as you, right? But the chances of you ever coming into contact with that person is slim to none that acts identical to you, right? But as long as you act like yourself and keep your morals together, I don't think it's bad to seek validation from a different group as long as they don't change, because different groups of people have different morals. I mean, each person has different morals underneath that big group. You know what I mean? But there's a moral kind of overshadowing that whole group.
And I don't think that it's a bad thing to necessarily act different, but I think that it's wrong when you completely change the person that you are. And there's nothing wrong with, in my opinion, tailoring yourself slightly to different groups of people, because then it's understandable. If there's a side of you that you don't want to show to some people, because not that it's like that they're going to judge you for it, but you just don't think that it's fit for that, or appropriate for that group of people, I don't think that that's a bad thing. But it's the point when you completely change who you are, change your morals, and change your moral compass to a certain group of people or a person.
When it crosses the line.
Yes, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah. And I mean, you definitely, I've never had a job, so I've never had a boss, right? But I'm sure that you don't act the same way around your boss than you do with your closest friends. I mean, it's definitely different, right? But you're understanding that you're changing your speech patterns and whatever to achieve a goal of a raise or some brownie points to, have him like you more or her like you more, So...
And it's not a bad thing to tailor to a certain person.
It's not.
But once again, if you change the person that you are to tailor to them.
Like, you shouldn't contradict yourself consistently over and over again, I
agree.
And I feel like it's easy. That's easy to happen. If you just let go of yourself, it is totally easy to happen. You definitely have to remind yourself consistently, It
was a great podcast.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir. I love you, bro.
Love you too.